with me, we have Sanskriti. She is doing law. She is in second year of law in Gujarat National Law University. It is a pleasure to have her with me, and she is really, I found her very active in the matter of right to education implementation, and we have been engaged in from yesterday how to make right to education implementation. So, Sanskriti, I would like to know from your own experience, what could be the role of a student of a government school to change the scenario?
Right. So sir, as I said that I come from an educational background. Like my parents are teachers, they work in a government school, and I still remember like when some parents of students come to their school and if they question the teachers, the impact is less. Most of the times the teachers take it in animosity, like how can a parent do that? I try my level best to teach the students. However, if someday if a teacher says that, if a student says that ma'am, no, this should be this way, this should be that way, there is the lack of animosity helps the teacher to take it in a positive manner. And because of the positive, and secondly, the teacher has to face that student every day. If I point it out, ma'am, we do not have good washrooms, ma'am, we do not have good drinking water area, the teacher is answerable to the student every other day. He will point out, ma'am, even today you have not changed it, ma'am, even today you have not changed it. The teachers will have to implement it. One example, I still remember it was summer vacation. I was in 5th, 6th standard, and till then my parents did not have any student in the school who was a disabled student, right? But in 5th standard, when the school was going to start, one student was admitted after from primary school to the secondary school, and he was disabled student. And that student pointed out just once, now I cannot go up the stairs, I need a ramp. My parents left everything aside and they took it up because it was the student who pointed out that I need a ramp to walk. There was a student who was malnutrition child, who was a stunted child, and he did not have a bench. The student once told the teacher, like he was sitting on one plank and then on the bench. Then the teacher scolded him, why are you doing this mischief? And in the joke only, he told his teacher, because I cannot sit on the regular bench. If I sit, I cannot see you. And they took it seriously because they were answerable to that child, and they brought one small chair on which he can sit. You know, the study table, small study table. So my understanding is students play even important role because there is primary relationship between the teachers and the students, between the school administration and the students. And if the students are made aware of their rights, that if a student any day tells a teacher that under right to education I have a right, a mandatory constitutional right, a fundamental right to have access to a ramp, to have access to good benches, to have access to water, the nature of accountability will change and the nature of the reception from the perspective of teachers will also change. That is it.
You were telling you were studying in a government school and you were in class 8. And then you found that your washroom was not clean.
So it was about how the school was renovating the washrooms, and I'm saying in retrospection, if I would have known then that when our washrooms have been renovated and when we do not have access to washrooms for like 1 or 2 months, it was my right to have access to washroom. I did not know that. I know if I would have known that, I know I would have gone to the teacher and I would have told the teacher that I want a washroom. How is it? How are you not giving it? It is a constitutional mandate that you need to give it to me. So the scenario would have been very different.
So how much it is important for the school children to know about right to education? Like now we are in 2024, almost 14 years have gone. And still we are...
Sir, I put forward that question to Nalini ma'am as well. Why did RT Act not made it a mandate that this act should be taught to students in their schools? It should have been a mandate. It should be part of all the curriculums. The teachers themselves should tell the students. And then it will be ironical. When the teachers are teaching the students right to education, then it will be ironical because the students will point out, okay, but we do not have washrooms. Okay, but we do not have this. And there should be penal consequences for this. The accountability when it becomes penal, the graveness of that accountability increases. yes, it is a fundamental right, but only for the state. Only the state can be held accountable. What about the state employees? Even they should be held accountable. When they are not fulfilling their responsibilities of their job, it is my father's job to carry out all the roles which a headmaster should carry out. It is my mother's job. And if she is not completing, there should be some kind of personal compensation from their side to the aggrieved child, to the aggrieved school students. It can be anything. We need to come up, we need to hold, like we have polluters spray principle, strict liability, absolute liability. Liability for loss of education should also be there on behalf of the teachers to the students.
I think it would be a violation of Article 21A. And if any fundamental right is violated, then the aggrieved person is entitled to compensation.
Right.
Also,
Sir, but how the access, how many students will go to the court? How many students will go to the Supreme Court or the High Courts that my right has been violated? There should be a redressal mechanism for that.
They can write a postcard to the Chief Justice of High Court or Supreme Court.
Sir, the children do not. I didn't know in 8th standard that I can write a postcard to the Chief Justice of India, or to where to put that postcard.
So my question is how much it is important for the school students to know their rights emerging from Right to Education Act.
Very important, sir. Very important. Like if we really have a dream of making education accessible, it starts from the curriculum. It starts from the point where they are made aware of their rights. We are, as a society, not making our citizens aware of their rights. A first standard child should know what is constitutional. A second standard child should know what is right to education. It is as important as ABCD. It is as important as 1, 2, 3, 4. These rights, every child should know what we say the preamble every day in our school. But the children do not know what does secularism mean, what does socialism mean, why do we speak that, what does Jana Gana mean. These rights are of utmost importance. We cannot achieve this dream, your dream, my dream of making education accessible if not for that.
What is emerging from our discussion is that if we want to change the scene in the government schools, the children who are the real sufferers of these things must raise their voice, must know the right to education and fight for their rights. And as I know that a student can write a postcard to the Chief Justice of India or Chief Justice of High Court, it will work. I hope so.
It will work.
Thank you. Thank you,
Sir.
Sanskriti.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.